Hi, this is Tim with RCNoob.com. Welcome back. We are at part 4 of our Tamiya Grasshopper kit build. As you can see, we're real close to the end. We're actually at the stage where we start putting the decals on the body and applying paint to a few areas, different accent pieces. The driver, for example, the fog lights, those are getting painted off camera right now. But we'll bring those in and we'll start assembling everything. We're to the point in the build where it's about adding the details and adding the looks to the machine, and then putting it all together finally, and then we get to power it up and drive it and have fun. So with this, we're gonna apply most of the decals, not all of them. I'm gonna be doing this a little out of order from what the instruction manual is telling me, for the simple fact that I've got painting going on at the same time, and there are some pieces and parts that are drying that we need to attach. We're going to actually be putting our driver, is going to be screwed in or bolted in to the roof of this vehicle, and he's going to be hanging there suspended. But right now I'm just doing some final detail work on the helmet. Then the helmet's going to get attached to the upper torso, and then that's all going to get attached here. But we do have a decal that's going to go over this roof area. Again, we're going to keep the decals as close to box art spec as possible. I might deviate on a few of them, but there is a logo or a Tamiya graphic that goes right here, and we're going to need that to be all taken care of before we put that decal on. If you have assembled a Grasshopper, and if you are paying close attention to the instruction manual, you'll see that there are some black parts on here, the roll bars. I don't have those black on this. I was going to paint them, and I have something else planned. Whether or not that's going to work, we'll find out, but we'll see. That might be a secret for the very end. Otherwise, they'll be white from this point forward. So I think that's enough lead in. You know, we're going to be applying some decals, like I said. Really not much to it. Shouldn't be much to it. These are peel and sticks. At first I had a moment of brief panic. Assembling this has been so close to assembling a plastic model from back in the day, from back in my day, that I had a brief moment of, oh my gosh, you know, dealing with water slide decals. I don't know if you've ever dealt with a water slide decal. I've had some luck with them. I've had mostly not great luck with them. Thankfully, these are not water slides, and I don't think you would ever encounter water slide decals on an RC vehicle, but just the assembly of this whole package has been so close to assembling a plastic model for me that I had that brief flashback and that brief moment of panic, but we should be okay. These look to be straightforward, just like the entire build. This entire build has been straightforward. I was a little negative on the instructions, and to be honest with you, looking back, they're decent. They are reproduction instructions. Tamiya did not update them to today's standards to make them any clearer or any less clear for that matter. So they are what they are. They're great. I've been able to assemble the vehicle. We have the whole bottom portion of the vehicle actually functioning. It's ready to roll now. We just need to get this done, and I need to stop talking. So I'm going to start applying a couple decals, and we will just move our way around the body and through the decal process. So there's really not a set order in which you have to do these. And like I said, I'm going to be doing things a little out of order. So we're just going to go ahead and pick a few and start putting them on. Now, so the first official decal we're going to put on is the Grasshopper. Ta-da! We have decal. Okay, we have more to do. We'll check in with you guys in a little bit, and we'll see how much progress we've made. Okay, check-in time. We've got half of our side decals on. All of the hood decals have been affixed. Got a couple little associate-sponsored decals on there. You can see the green and the red striping has been put in on one side. A little nerve-wracking, just having to line everything up. But I'm very, very pleased with how easily they go on and how easy they are to smooth out and really get rid of air bubbles. And I thankfully have not run into many air bubbles so far. It's looking good. It's starting to look like a finished product. The striping has been applied. Got both sides done. Get a little look. Now I can breathe a little easier at least. It's on. Everything looks good. A couple air bubbles I'll smooth out. Everything's about as lined up as I can get it at this point. No major issues. There were a couple additional decals because with this little cutout here that we needed to apply. But everything's on. Everything looks good. From the striping standpoint, we still have some more Grasshopper logo decals, a couple Tamiya racing decals to put on here, some numbers. But we're looking good. I'm liking how this is going. I do have to say that, you know, the hobby is a great way for me to unwind. No matter what has happened in my day, no matter what has happened in my week, I know that I can always come to this and just relax and have an enjoyable time and have a good time. Even if it's stressing out about getting a decal lined up or placed correctly, it's still calming, and it's a nice little way for me just to relax and reset everything and get back to, you know, a calm, even if it is a brief calm. Let's keep on moving. Let's put some more decals on. Let's assemble some drivers, a driver, Frank Evans apparently, and get him situated, get him bolted in, and have him try out his new ride. Everything really went well on the decaling. I'm happy with how it turned out. In looking at it now, there are a couple things that aren't exactly centered. Those will bug me until the end of time. Trust me. Everything else went on really, really well. It was a little nerve-wracking, as I had said before, just to get everything lined up. There were a lot of creases and a lot of folds that needed to be navigated, nooks and crannies and what have you. But really, everything went on really well. I like how it looks. It's got, you know, it's a classic look. It's a classic RC vehicle. As you noticed, the back roll bars look a little bit different than what they had looked like before. I had a little something up my sleeve. I 3D printed just two little wraparound cylinders, 3/4 round cylinders that I snapped over the back roll bars just to give it a little bit of an accent. I'm not going to do anything with these other roll bars. Again, I wanted to keep this simple. I'm still working on my painting skills when it comes to RC cars and RC bodies, so I wanted to keep things really, you know, simplistic and basic for this first build. So here's our driver, Frank Evans. As you can see, he is ready to rumble. I brush painted the details on Frank's helmet. It's a metallic flake blue for the base, or I guess the main shell, and then you can see the black accents. And then Frank got a little bit of tan or peach treatment, and then I just, as far as the driving suit goes, I just detailed the seat belts a little bit, or the safety harnesses a little bit. We got our little off-road lights. I did deviate from the instructions. I did them all black because I got a little sloppy with my painting, and rather than painting and repainting two different colors, I went all black. Like I said, we're going to mount these onto the body, and we're going to mount Frank onto the body. We're going to get that final decal on, and then it's time to mount the body, and we're done with this build. Okay, so we've got our body all decaled, all ready to go. All the accessories have been put on. The floodlights are on there. You got Frank mounted, sitting behind the wheel. Let's get this installed onto our chassis, and then we'll be all done. As you can see, I did opt to put the antenna tube on. I know with a 2.4 gigahertz system, you don't need it, but I want this thing to stay classic and you know, have that retro feel and that retro look to it. So this has been a best of both worlds build for me, and just, it's been a blast. I know I've said this in the previous videos, but understanding how a vehicle gets assembled and how it works from the ground up has been just an eye-opener for me, and it's really made me appreciate some of the ready-to-run vehicles that you get as they are all set and ready to go. And this has also made me want to build a couple more classics, and I want to build some more modern vehicles. So as you can tell, I'm fully bitten by the builder bug. There you have it, a fully built, fully assembled ready to roll Tamiya Grasshopper. My first build has officially come to an end. Well, maybe not officially. I think we have to power this up. All right, here it is, the moment of truth, the big payoff. We have steering. We have throttle. We have a completed Grasshopper. Overall, you know, we ran into a few small issues, and I wouldn't even call them issues at the beginning. Just, you know, kind of, I had to get my head wrapped around how to assemble a gearbox. I've never done that before. Once we got past that, it was pretty much a cakewalk. I grew to understand the instructions and how they were set up a lot better. And it was just an amazing process, a very, very fun process. Happy everything works. I can't wait to get this outside. This will be lightly driven. Just an amazing process. If you have not built a kit yet, I count me as one a believer in the kit build process. Just an amazing experience all the way around. I can't say anything more about it. If you haven't built a kit, go out and pick one up. Whether it's modern, whether it's a classic, if it's a re-release, whatever you want to do, just, you know, build something, get your hands dirty, and understand the process from the ground up and what it takes to assemble one of these machines, and then, you know, the joy that you get from finally powering it on and letting it drive. With that, this is going to wrap up our series on this build. But before I go, I do want to say thank you to Proline. Now, this blue mat that sits underneath my now freshly completed Grasshopper has saved me quite a bit of time from having to search and look for parts and pieces and hardware. Proline hooked me up with this foam race mat maybe a little over a year ago. And I felt bad because I didn't feel that I had anything worthy of rolling it out for and using it. So with this build came along, I decided to give it a shot. Well, I've dropped more hardware pieces on this, and they've not bounced onto the floor. Just a great, great piece. Check out ProLineRacing.com if you are interested in getting one for yourself. And if you want to use coupon code RCNoob10, you can save 10% on your order. Just throwing that in there as well. Proline's been a tremendous supporter of RCNoob.com, the podcast, these videos. So again, thank you to Proline for this mat and for their ongoing support. If you have enjoyed this video series, which I hope you have, please give the videos a thumbs up. If you have already done that but you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that too. With that, my name is Tim. This has been RCNoob.com. This has been my first RC kit build. Stay tuned. We're going to have more. We'll have some additional footage on other vehicles coming up. This has been a really great experience. If you have any questions on building this model or building, you know, other models, or if you have other suggestions for builds that you'd like to see me do in the future, feel free to drop me a line at rcnoob.com. So until next time, guys, thank you again for watching. Keep your batteries charged up, keep your nitro topped off, and we will talk with you later.